Hey geeks, welcome to my channel. I'm Trey Guillotine and you're watching Geekly Trends, where we give a few thoughts about some of the geeky trends that have gone on in the past week. There were a lot of trailers that came out of Paris Games Week 2017, and we're going to be talking about some of my favorites. If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and share it around so others can join in the conversation. Let's get started on this week's Geekly Trends. We finally have the announcement for the first expansion for Destiny 2, and I say finally, and finally doesn't really work here now that I'm thinking about it, because Destiny 2 didn't come out all that long ago, so I'm very relieved that we actually have a date so soon after the release of Destiny 2. Expansion 1 is going to be Curse of Osiris. If Osiris rings a bell, it's because that name was spread throughout the entirety of the story campaign of Destiny 2. Every time it came up, I was like, what is Osiris? Who's Osiris? Is Osiris another war mind? What is Osiris? Finally, we have that answer. Osiris is apparently one of the most infamous guardians of the Vanguard. He's Ikora's mentor, he's a warlock, and he did something in the past that endangered all of humanity and put him in exile. Now it seems he's coming back, and with him is a new host of Vex from the past and the future. And we're unsure if Osiris is going to be an ally or an enemy. From the trailer, Osiris actually looks pretty cool, so I'd be interested to meet this character and see this character in action and hopefully fight alongside this character instead of fighting him, because chances are he could probably kick my ass. But Curse of Osiris is also giving us a new patrol zone on Mercury where a Vex gate has opened up, and that is where the past and future Vex are coming through to remake the universe in their image, which is something we saw a little bit of on Nessus, where the Vex took basically a dead rock in space and terraformed it and made it into their own planet. So it seems that this is something that they want to do to the rest of the universe. Destiny 2, for me at least, has gotten kind of I love the game, I enjoy playing the game, I like playing with my fire team, but aside from that, I haven't really touched it a lot. There have been other games that I've wanted to play over that, because once I beat the story campaign and killed Gaul, and did all of the kind of epilogue story missions on all of the planets, all you really have left are dailies and patrols, which, I mean, you can do all of that at least 3 times. I only did it twice because, my god, I hate playing a warlock. So I have my hunter and my titan pretty much leveled up. I just have to find a big enough group to do the raid and do the nightfall strikes, which we've tried it a couple times and it's been near impossible. If I'm not playing with my fire team, I'm not really playing Destiny 2. So I am really excited to get back into it for a new expansion, for a new storyline, to see where it's going to take us. Aside from Mercury, what kind of armor we're going to get, what kind of weapons, maybe we'll get some new emotes, and just most importantly for me at least, a new story. The third DLC content for Final Fantasy 15 Episode Ignis was announced, and we saw a pretty good trailer, which actually the trailer was probably too good because it kind of told us the entire story. It's focusing on Ignis and what happens during the trial of the Leviathan when Noctis is flying around fighting the Leviathan and the Titan, all while Niflheim kind of comes in and just blows crap out of the city. You're playing as Ignis as you're running through the city trying to get to Noct so that you can help him. In the place of teleporting that Noct does, Ignis seems to have some kind of grappling hook that he hooks onto Roos and he jumps on, and then he's driving a boat, so you're not going to be driving the car, you're going to be Regalia, you're going to be driving a boat, and you're also teaming up with Ravis, who is also trying to get to his sister, Lunafreya. This kind of cements where his loyalties lie more than the rest of the game did, because for like the entire game it seemed he was the bad guy, and then he kind of wasn't the bad guy. It was very confusing. I'm relieved that this DLC is happening, because now that we'll have all 3 episodes of Gladio, Prompto, and Ignis, I'll finally feel comfortable going back and replaying the entire game, so that maybe with these episodes in the game, maybe this game might actually make a little bit more sense, because the game overall was just very confusing. The story was spread between a movie and an anime series, and the game itself, it was very confusing. So hopefully with this final installation, I don't know if there's other planned story DLC aside from the multiplayer, which looks kind of cool and takes place in the interim when Noct disappears and when he comes back and the world kind of goes to hell. That looks pretty cool, but as far as I know, this is the last story DLC for Final Fantasy 15. So now that we'll actually have a complete story, I'll be very happy to go back and replay this game. We got a second look at Naughty Dog's Last of Us 2, but you wouldn't really know it until literally the very last second of the trailer. The trailer shows unknown characters, we've never seen them before, as they kind of get brutalized and strung up by this seemingly fanatical religious faction of individuals. It is a very, very brutal thing to watch. Like it's almost uncomfortable in some of the brutality of it. But these characters are ones we've never seen before. There's not a whole lot of dialogue. So aside from these unknown characters, it doesn't really give us a lot more to go on. But if you think about it, I have a feeling that kind of religious these religious fanaticals that we see in the trailer are them all that Ellie and Joel want to kill, that we saw in the very first trailer for Last of Us 2 when Ellie says, I want to kill them all. I have a feeling it's going to be, or at least a large focus of it, will be that group, and chances are you'll meet up with the other characters that you see in this new trailer. I don't yet see a release date for The Last of Us Part 2, but I'm expecting it to come out in 2018. Spider-Man PlayStation 4 game trailer that they released at Games Week 2017 focused more on the story. For the most part, since its announcement, we've really just seen gameplay, which looks amazing, and it looks very fun, it looks very chaotic, but it looks very fun. But finally, in this most recent trailer, we're getting a lot of story, and it seems like Spider-Man and Peter Parker are kind of winding down, that they think that they've kind of done away with all of the criminals in New York, or all of the super criminals in New York, and that Peter Parker kind of wants to step away from Spider-Man and have his own life, but then this new villain comes in, and that's not going to happen. So we did see Peter Parker, we saw Wilson Fisk, who's apparently behind bars. I'm guessing the person we saw was Mary Jane Watson, and then also Miles Morales. So the fact that Miles Morales is also involved, if he's going to become another Spider-Man with Peter Parker, I'm not sure how that's going to work out. But what most excites me about the story is that it looks very new. The main villain, which is this kind of like photo-negative kind of super villain, is someone I've never seen before. It looks like Wilson Fisk and other elements, villains, and characters are going to be a part of this game. I'm also super excited that it is someone new. At least as far as I'm concerned, it's someone new. It's someone I haven't seen before. It's a new character and a new story to get to know. I'm actually pretty happy to be getting this Spider-Man game. Not just because it's Marvel, not just because we might have the first Marvel game to stand up next to the Batman Arkham series, but because this game just looks a lot of fun, and I like Insomniac Games and their Sunset Overdrive. Also, the gameplay itself looks so high-end. Like, I'm afraid that I'm going to be physically unable to play it because I'm not going to be able to pull off all of those really awesome-looking moves that Spider-Man pulls off. But just like The Last of Us 2, we also don't have a release date, but it's expected to come out sometime in 2018. When you're planning your next Wizard World Comic-Con experience, make sure to use the discount code GuillotineGeek online to get 10% off your ticket purchase, and use those savings to buy some merch or meet a celebrity. Now is the time I would like to hear from you. What did you think about some of the trailers released at Paris Games Week 2017, and what do you think of the games I've mentioned here? Let me know in the comments and follow me on all the internets. If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and share it around so others can join the conversation. You can check out my written reviews of movies, games, and television shows at guillotinegeek.blogspot.com. You can support future content by visiting my Patreon, and subscribe to my channel to geek out some more. Thanks for watching, and have fun. So Captain America, Thor, Hulk.